finally put everything back. That's what happens when you lend your son your camera. He feels it necessary to muck about with every single setting and everything in the bag even though he's not using it. Anyway, enough moaning. Right, we're back, lockdown workshop. It's flipping freezing. And I've got to do some shooting because we've got an emergency job in. I've got loads of other work on, but I'm also running out of content as well, so that's kind of forced the issue a little bit. We'll get you going in a minute. I will try and get 2 cameras on, and after we've had some constructive feedback, I will try to be a little bit more organised, because somebody said it was painful watching, it was so disorganised. Hey, welcome to the lockdown workshop. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Disorganised ramblings. But anyway, we've got this one in. You will recognise it as soon as I get it up on the stand. It's been in before for the same thing, and it's in a third time for the same thing. To be fair, he's lasting 2 years in between. You'll see when we get it up there, but basically he's mullered his bottom bracket again. Given how bad it is, I would also hazard a guess he's broken the bearing again as well. So I'm going to have a look at it, see if there is something else going on. But I mean, these are SKF bearings, they're not Mickey Mouse Chinesian bearings, they're fairly decent bearings, so I would have expected them to last a bit longer than this. I don't know what he's doing to it, to be honest, other than he's not a small chap, and I don't mean he's tall. He's big built, muscly wise, and the bike gets a hell of a lot of use. I mean, I don't know many people that actually wear tyres down to threads, and he wears tyres down to threads. I'll give it a quick check. I've checked there's nothing else that needs looking at. Chain, brakes are the 2 things I haven't checked. Everything else seems okay. The lockout doesn't work, but I don't think it's ever worked, and to be honest, I'm not really into stripping down those Suntool forks at the moment. I know they're difficult to get parts from. I know they can be an absolute pig to strip down. It probably needs a service, and they're not the easiest to service. But I'll put it on the list for summer when it's warmer probably. Other than that, let's get this thing up on the ramps and see what we can do for it. I did notice that his grips are coming off as well, so let's see if we can get them to go somewhere near where they're supposed to be going. I might even stick him some new ends on there. Right, anyway, let's call the intro at that point. It doesn't help if you pack your thing away. We'll get both cameras running and we'll try to be a little bit more organised today and a little bit more professional. Fuck me, like that's going to happen. Right, let's see how we go here. We've got 2 cameras running. What are you looking at? I'm assuming you've started. You haven't. No, you haven't started. Let's roll. Now we've got, right, so we've given it an M check. No head play. Wheels are okay. I haven't checked the brake pads. On the front, they are looking, I'll be honest, a little bit suspect. I don't know, I think they're alright actually. They've got good bite anyway. It's the back ones I was more worried about. There seems to be quite a lot of travel on there. Let's have a quick squidge. What's going on with them? I know they look like they've got a fair bit of meat on them as well. Could be dragging on one side. But other than that, I think we're okay. They're not too bad. Oops, sorry for walking in front of you. Yeah, it's a bit tight in here. We've got a lot of stuff that people haven't come and collected. I've got a lot of project stuff that's up here that shouldn't be up here because we've still got the workshop, the old workshop in pieces. Let me just have a look at the chain. Actually, the chain's not too bad. That's pretty good. It's probably just getting ready. I would say within the next 6 months it needs a new chain, the way Michael rides. But other than that, I don't think that's that bad. So it really is just this bottom bracket we've got to sort out. So of course I've put it on the wrong way around. Well, actually no, because I don't think it matters with these. So now then, have we got some gloves? Because we're going to be more professional, and apparently it's more professional if you wear gloves, because apparently that makes the video shooting a whole lot better and the quality goes through the roof when you wear gloves. There's a very undramatic snap. You see all right? Yep. But all feedback is greatly received. We are doing all right at the moment. We're actually catching the algorithm a bit, so we are picking up a lot of new subscribers. So thank you if you have subscribed. First step, don't forget to hit the like button, which is, although if I'm stood here, it's probably down there, the subscribe button. Or if I'm looking at you, it's down there. And don't forget to click on these other ones when they pop up at the end up there as well for some other videos. Right, what we're going to do, we need to get that thing off, which means we need a flipping big wrench. And number 8. Yeah, see, normally I'd be shoving this outside, but we've got a lot of stuff in here at the moment. It's going to be one of those days today, I can tell. Let me have a quick look up here. I think I've got a better option for this. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've got an 8mm. Yes, that's what we're after. I have got an 8mm, one of those. It's just... Right, I don't know if I showed you this. Yeah, you should not be able to do that with a crank. I think it's the outside one that's gone. It seems to, it usually is the outside one that goes. I think it's because the chains on this one, it gives a much more stability to this side. But on most bottom brackets, it's always the non-dry side that goes, the worst. Right. So this has been rebuilt now. This will be its 3rd time it's going to be rebuilt. I could just replace it with another. See if I can get away with doing this from around here. I could just replace it with another whole bottom bracket assembly, but they're quite expensive now. You're paying like £20 or more for a bottom bracket, and some of these bottom brackets for these square taper ones are actually quite hard to get hold of. So I did kind of suggest it might be time to start thinking about looking at a Holotech 2 through axle kind of arrangement, because they would probably suit his rider type better. But it gave me that look that some people do. A, I have no idea what you're talking about, and B, that sounds expensive, which is a lot more than the couple of quid I'm going to charge him for a new set of bearings. So I guess he's got a fair point there. And if he has to bring it round sort of once every 2 years and buy me a couple of bottles of wine in exchange for me chucking a couple of bearings in at a couple of quid each, as opposed to even buying a second-hand Holotech, I guess I see where he's coming from. Well, why wouldn't you, for starters? Right. So this is a normal process, square taper thing. Make sure you get these threads in all the way on the bracket remover. Are you getting a good view of this? You are. You want to go in a bit closer. Oh, look at that! It was absolutely professional. Pan in then until zoom in then until I whacked the camera. We were doing really well. Sorry, Mr. I'm not being professional. Absolute chaotic. I've just remembered why I hate these. Because you can only do it with a bloody big get the redneck micrometer out. I do love that phrase, redneck micrometer. I can't remember where I got that from. I think it was Vice Grip. I have to be quite neighbours here. It's nearly going, I can feel it. They don't pop these, they generally just go. That's it, that feels promising. So I've put that down behind me now and I'll lose that because I'm unprofessional and absolute chaos. Come on. There we go. Oh, dearie me. The question is, can I do this without getting the without to turn the bike round? Can I even get it in? There we go. Yeah, I did once make a mistake on one of my bikes years and years ago where I wound the extractor in. I didn't realise I'd still got the extraction pin in quite a long way, and it only grabbed about half a dozen threads or so, and promptly ripped half a dozen threads out of my bottom bracket. I think they were a bit mullered beforehand because the previous incumbent had made a bit of a mess of them. Come on. This one's tighter than the other one. You can sometimes put a bit of, if they're being awkward, which they aren't usually, you can put a bit of heat on them. I like to get my knee into them. It's one of those things, it's not even easy even if you put it on the ground. Of course it doesn't help that I'm pushing at an angle through the frame either. That's it, she's going now. Can't even use, I suppose you could use the chugger, but I can't because it's got that annoying thing. It's not even a, I don't know why they do that. It's just, it seems very very odd. I think the reason they did it with this one was that the hole that's in the other end of this piece isn't a socket drive hole. It's actually the same size as the bolt that's on some of them, because not all of them have got an Allen key sort of bolt. Some of the older ones have got a nut that sits on the end of a thread, and it's that size, so they put that on so you can use that to get that off as well. It just would be easier if that was a 1/2 inch drive. Right, so no dramas. This next bit's usually the bit that causes the problem. Yeah, it's usually this next bit that's the bit of an issue. Yeah, I can feel it's that outside bearing that's gone again. This inside bearing doesn't actually feel that bad. There's a bit of play on it. Right, so we're going to get them out now. I can't remember which side's Yeah, that side's the main bottom bracket. That's the carrier. So it's a sealed unit. It goes in as a cartridge, and then there's another one that comes in the other side and locks it in place and just supports the axle itself. So all we need to do is just spin that out, and there's a tool for that. Here's one I've mullered earlier many a time, not on this particular bike. Now you can cheat with this one a bit. I can get the jugger on it and give it some ugga-duggers. I can find the right ugga-dugger for it. That's the one. And the 1/2 inch drive. Now we'll give this a go. So I'm fairly confident that it's could be wrong. Or it could just be seized in there again. Right, let's go find the axle bar. Actually, we'll give it one more go, but we'll give it one more go with this one this time. I seem to remember I knackered these up last time trying this one. So the thing is, you need to get the point of torque as close to the frame as possible. Of course, he doesn't have, it's a suspension bike, so of course I'm pushing down, it's just sagging. I'm not fairly convinced that can't even get it in on the other side. God, what's it done to it? Right, let's have a go with the I asked you nicely. Yeah, I think it's this way round. Well, the one thing is we've scared it. That might have been right first time. Well, there's one thing, we've got some movement anyway. Movement is good. No, it was right, it was left-hand thread on this side. This has got anti-seize on as well, because I had a lot of problems with this one. I actually had to, first time we did it, it was so welded in there, I had to get a blowtorch on it to get it out. I must admit, normally I'd use the Ugga Dugga on it, but like I said, I don't appear to have any Ugga Dugga batteries. Sorry, an Ugga Dugga's an impact driver. I'm sort of like a flipping muppet doing this. Because I'm disorganised and chaotic, apparently. I do get what he means, but that's part of the thing of it. I responded in the comments, like, this is, I don't get paid to do this, I'm not a glitzy bike shed, I haven't got people doing the videos for me. I just come in here and it's a bit of a laugh, and it's to show you what you can do. I'll give that an autopsy in a minute. It's absolutely full of shit in there again. I think I'm going to have to put extra anti-seize on this. Right, so that means that this one should be a normal left-hand, a normal right-hand thread, not a left-hand thread. Let's get the I asked you nicely bar in again. Seems that seems to be the only language it understands. The only problem with this is it does move it away from the a bit of penetrating on there, that'll do it. Hit it from behind as well. I'm not entirely sure whether he stores the bike, whether he stores it inside or outside. There is another trick you can do. If I can actually get to my... Yeah, there they are. So the problem is, because we're using this, this here, I'm putting more and more distance between where I'm putting the momentum of force. The turning torque is there and it's getting further and further away, so there's a tendency for it to do that, start to roll off. So what you can do, I'll be very careful now, I've just chucked oil all over the floor. I've still not, this is another bit, I do kind of get what he's coming from with his comments. Just try not to lean the bike up against that vice. I do get where he's coming from with the comments. I'll be honest, I haven't exactly got used to working in such a confined space, having to, all these years of having as much space as I wanted in the other workshop. So it's kind of... Right. So we need to go that way. Can somebody just lend me a hand? Yeah, this isn't going to work, I don't think. No. Just not quite right, and it doesn't help that the bike doesn't want to play ball. Yeah. That's not working. I've got grease all over the floor now, so it's extra slippy. Oh! This breaker bar was bought for taking suspension nuts off a Land Rover. It really is the original AST Nicely bar. They do a bigger one than this as well, apparently. Now I might not have took this one out last time for exactly this reason. You don't need it out, but it's probably a good idea to get it out and clean it. Especially if at some point we are going to have to upgrade the bottom bracket. We're going to need to get it out. Right, let me just clean up this mess a bit. I think what's made it worse is there was already a pile of oil on the floor from the generator that I've not cleaned up very well the other day, and I've just chucked WD-40 on it and it's made it worse. It's also, because it's so cold, we're getting a bit of condensation in here as well, which is adding to the problem. Completely missed the bin. It's about par for the course because I'm unprofessional. Right, that's it. I'm not going to mention being unprofessional again. I'm starting to irritate myself now. How come he was coming off with the other one, but he doesn't want to come off with this one? I want to move. I have to get some heat on this in a minute. Shows how much a difference it makes, because I could barely move that on the normal size wrench. The good thing is it looks like it's not bringing out any threads or anything, so the anti-seize has done its job, sort of. I think it's just full of muck. Generated some heat. I'm hoping this was going to be a quickie. I've got some painting to do tonight. I don't know what's holding this in here, because it appears to be. That's it. She's out. She's scabby. We needed to get that out. I don't know if you can see that. Come on, focus. Yeah, the bearing's completely collapsed again, so I'm going to have to knock that out of there. That's a bit of a pisser. Right, let's move everything around and get set back up for stripping this down. Right, what are you looking at? Right, so we've got to get that out of there, because it looks like all the balls have left the scene of the scene of the accident. As I said, the other race isn't too bad. It's a bit mullered, but that race is just completely disintegrated again. So let's see what we've got to try and get that out of there. Let me try and use that. We won't get too far. Big old persuader. I'm thinking the best way to do this is to stick that on there and see if I can knock it out. We're recording now. Yeah. Right. I'm trying to work out where the bearing starts, because it's kind of difficult. That might be a clue. Right, that looks like the seal we've just knocked out there. It's not a crack, is it? No. I've no idea how we're going to get this out of here. Oh. Well, I just dropped Lucky there already. Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely sheared. Right, looks like we've got a gap now that I can work on. Probably would have been better off in the so I've got no, you can't really use a puller on it. I've just got to try and get behind what's left of it, but the problem is as well, it's I need something to sit it in. I can't use that either. I painted that last time. But I didn't just paint it, I think I dipped it. Right. That wasn't entirely what I wanted to happen, but right, we'll leave that on there. That's the one that goes in there. See if we can knock one. That one's in a bit tighter than the other one. Right, so what I was going to do was, actually no, because that's not going to work because it goes in the, I've just shoved it back in. It wants to fall out. You know, I reckon I might get this out with my fingers. Oh. That's part of it then. This is where this bit might come in handy. I don't really want to do that. Again, I said this is one of those ones that your average bike shop wouldn't do this. That one's well and truly. Last time it just came out in pieces. It had completely shattered, but this doesn't seem to want to let go this time. Unfortunately, I've got no way of holding it without damaging the threads, which I really don't want to do. So what I'm doing is resting up against the hip of the. You can't see because my hand's in the way. Resting up against the hip so that it's resting around the top of it rather than around the bottom of it, because it's the bottom one's a bit more crucial. I'm going to crank that one. Oh, we've just got more bits of it. It's just absolutely disintegrating. Oh, there we go, it's fallen out, which is exactly what it did last time. Right, so it looks like we've got that out. We've just got to clean this up now. Clean up the threads, clean up all the inside of that, and then we'll get another set of bearings and push it all back together again. So best thing I can do is bring you back when I've cleaned this up, because I don't know what stuff I've got here at the moment. This one. No, it's not in that one. Not in that one. Must be in this one. I need to fasten that on the wall because that's getting on my nerves. Right. That's the one I was looking for. But unfortunately, all the drills are in the house as well. resort to plan B. See if we can do it with this. Right then, I will bring you back when I've done that. Right, we're having a few issues. I started stripping this down and one of them came off like a dream and this one's stuck on, so we're just going to give it a bit of heat. If this doesn't work, we'll have to cut it. I'm just trying to avoid doing that. Get some quenchy. I'd like to say that's moving, but I don't think it is. And yes, I'm grabbing this thing of ice on a part that's not part of the bearing surface. Yeah, that's not moving. Do you know what? This might be this one's last. Problem is with this one, I can't quite get it under its edge. You could almost do with something that's there's not enough, just not enough lip to get at it. If I could try something else. Problem is that the vice has got That worked well. He says that it burns a hole in my floor. It is moving a bit, I think. It's not as much as we would like. No. Oh, it definitely has moved this time. Right, let's keep going with that one. That looks like a plan of action. It's hot, but there's a lip, and it's only a very small lip. So if I can get this underneath it, it might be enough to persuade it to come off. Because it doesn't help that I'm spinning this the wrong way. Right, I think that somebody wants some assistance with some shopping, so I might have to disappear in a minute. Right, after much braying and swearing, I'm going to break the Dremel out. I've got a really small one on. I'm going to put some cuts in. I've got it away from the shoulder now, which is all I was bothered about damaging. So you find doing this just relaxes the tension, even if you don't get all the way through, which I don't want to get all the way through, because I risk getting into the surface of the metal then. Right. This is pretty much as close to mullered as you're ever going to get. You really need a new vise. Anybody out there that's got a vise they don't want? I need a new one. This one is well past its best. Let's try it that way. Of course you can't see what I'm doing now. Right, well it's moving, so I might be able to. And that's how you remove a stubborn bearing. Right. Lots of stuff stuck to that I don't want stuck to it. Right, so this was the drive side. So this is the one that's got to go into the drive side one, believe it or not, which is that side, which has also got a broken bearing. Right, so we'll put that over there out the way. We'll start clearing this one out. So we've got to do the same thing with this one. We've got to knock that bearing through. Hopefully it'll come out better than the other one did. But I'm not holding my breath. And that's completely disintegrated as well. But we might be in luck. That's half of it just falling out. Or is this rust welded in? thinking next time I'll put some anti-seize on the actual bearing cases themselves. Right. We are not going to do the full refurb we did last time, it seems a little bit pointless. What we will do though is we will try and find ourselves some copper grease, because I can't find any other, which is here. Right, copper grease. So what we will do is we will absolutely lavish everything with copper grease. So this is what in the States they call anti-seize. So it's called copper slip, or sometimes called molly slip. So we'll just drop that into there. That should sit in there nicely. It does. It's got a nice spin on it. I've had to take a picture of these because it turns out these are the last of the bearings I've got. This here pins that bearing casing in there nice and tight, and I've just smothered that with molly slip as well, so that should be good. Now what we need to do is stick that in there. That's the drive side one, so what we'll do is we'll equally smother that with molly slip as well. And that's in. So those of you who watched the repair I did on this last time, you'll have seen I sprayed it all up and made it look all nice, but to be honest I think this is going to be the last time now. That outer casing started to get a bit mullered, and I've run out of bearings, which I am surprised at. I've got some more there. Oh, I've got some more here. These are the same size. 63110. Weird. Right. I don't like it. Oh, so we have got another set. Oh, there's another set there. Oh, that's because I've bagged them all up separately. £5 a bag. There you go. But you can't buy it for £5 a bag now. Right, just gonna give this a bit of a helping hand to get it in. I think we're there, we're on the shoulder, so that should be okay. I don't think that's quite right somehow. I can't help but think that that's not quite where it should be. That's better. Thought it looked odd. Yes, because this one should be tight up against that. what are we going to do? We need a socket. I normally have a special socket for doing these. Surely that might do it. Yes. So when you do this, you've got to make sure you're pushing down on the centre ring so you're not loading the bearing. It'll take a certain amount, and what that should be is pretty much almost tight up against that. So it needs to go a little bit further. Right then, what we've got to do now is put it all back together again. Oh, she's back on. Right then. Yuck, that's a bit shit. Yeah, I've just picked all the bits of crap out of the inside of the other bearing, the piece that's going in, but obviously this is absolutely full of shite. The remains of some of the ball bearings have just come out as well. Got the mucky paw prints on that a bit. We don't really want to do that. Yeah, so this isn't getting anywhere near the resto that it got before. Right, now I think this is now, because these threads are not in a good way in the slightest. We've got to be really careful how we thread this in. Come on, can't even get it out now and I'm undoing it. And if I want to put the other side in a bit to offer it a bit of guidance, it's really not wanting to pick up that first thread. And I haven't even got an old one I can run in because I gave my old bottom bracket to somebody else that I used to use for cleaning threads up. Let's stick the other side in and give it a bit of something to bite onto. Not that I'm guaranteed to get this one in either. So this one. Right, so that's great mullered, these threads. I did actually look at buying a tap and die set for bottom brackets. I'm rapidly coming to the conclusion that if they get this bad, you shouldn't really bother with it. If it goes, it'll suddenly go. I think that's in, it's just hitting some graunch, shall we say. The idea is you should be able to put these in with your hands. And if you have to get the tools on it, then you're probably forcing it and you don't really want to. I think the thread is that slack now that it's just binding up. Right, that's going now. There you go, we've got past it. So you should be able to do it with your hands. Wingle, wingle, wingle. Look at that, it's going all the way in. We've made a right bloody mess on the floor down there, haven't we? Now the thing is with these, you don't need to do them up tight, and that's where a lot of people make a mistake. These are only there to hold the thing in place, they will not undo. And if they do start to come undone, you've got a bigger problem. Your bearings are mullered anyway, in which case, you know what, it's not the end of the world if they come undone. Ting! Right. That's it. It's had too much load on there. Just one last time, we'll chuck it on the floor. So we'll just nip these up first with the 8mm. Never work on mountain bikes, they're always covered in shit. These pedals are holding out quite. These nuke-proof pedals that we put on last time are doing all right. To say how heavy he is on bikes. Did I actually pick up a screw? Sat there trying to screw it in and there's no screw in it. For that, only ever set to 14 Newton meters, and there we go. Whoever thought tree pose for yoga was good for doing bikes? Flipping egg. Thought it just slip around a bit. -42, so -2. That's it. Right, there we go. Quick and dirty fix. Let's just check all the gears work. Clean up the carnage. Not beginning to see any of this. Not on this one, anyway. So that's what I record with, just in case you were wondering. It's an old Canon EOS 700D. The reason I got the 700 is because you can use an external mic on it, and you can't use an external mic on any of the ones before that one. So that's why. And I appear to have lost the lens cap somewhere along the line, so we'll just put that over there out of the way and carry on tidying up while I talk to you a bit. Normally we'd make a slow-mo about this, but I'll have enough while we're doing it. Right, I didn't mean to get this one out. This is the knackered one. I don't use that one anymore. Yeah, the workshop is it's full of stuff that shouldn't be in here, so it is causing a few problems at the moment. On top of that, it's winter time, so I can't really work with the doors open. Just remove the carnage. So that's what a bottom bracket looks like. It's a shame we can't take a picture of that, actually. Let's take a picture of it. That's what a mullered bottom bracket looks like. Go back to you. Oh, that worked well. I thought he was going to have exploded. Normally when I ask it to do things like that, it throws a proper wobbly. Yeah, the Insta360, absolutely fantastic camera, completely let down by its software reliability. So, just when you think you've got the hang of it, and it goes through a whole phase of like locking up, freezing, shutting down, doing all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. And I've got so much muck on the floor down here, it's unbelievable. Shove that back on out of the way. That goes back in there. You are trying to a bit of yibbing away there, and your battery is died. Well, you shut down again already? No, you're still going. Right. More bits of airing. Not sure when the video cut off, it died. I know we were doing too well tonight. Anyway, right, like and subscribe. This one's going back. Hopefully, it might get some more done to it if he wants his tyres. He wants me to swap his tyres out, but I think he's more than capable of doing that. But anyway, I was rabbling on about the fact that I'd never seen these explode like this on any other bike before, but it is what it is. Anyway, right, cheap and literally dirty bike fix for a bottom bracket without having to spend 30 quid on a bottom bracket. It's just a cost of £5 in bearings and a lot of swearing by me, which, to be honest, you'd have had to do all that swearing anyway if you put a new one in. So there you go. Job's a good one.